Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome, passengers, to Real Film Nerds episode number 232, Jungle Cruise. This week, the backside of water of the Real Film Nerds podcast, Mysterious Mike Talent. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great. Nice integration of the movie, man. Good job.
Now, the question is, Mike, did you experience that joke when you went on the ride when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah. It brought me right back as soon as he said it.
Many times. Now, talking about bringing things back, 2 weeks in a row, special guest, soon to be new co-host if she keeps it up, Maniacal Mags. Mags, how are you?
I am doing great, Maddie Cakes. Thank you for asking. I am super excited to be back again. This is really fun for me. I enjoy the banter. So yeah, good times.
I enjoy the bump in our numbers by 25%.
Is that seriously what
That's
happened?
seriously what happened.
That is amazing. You are welcome.
Good job, honey.
Pays to have women on a podcast, even if it's just the voices.
It does.
All right,
Love it.
so episode 232, Jungle Cruise. Walt Disney comes back with another ride movie. Mike, go ahead, give us the rundown.
All right, Matt. So, like you said, Jungle Cruise. It's directed by Jaime Colette Serra. Is written by Michael Green, Glenn Ficarra, John Rookie, John Norval, Josh Goldstein, and this movie is starring The Rock and
The Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, Edgar Ramirez, Jack Whitehall, Jesse Plemons, Paul Giamatti, Veronica Falcone. And this movie, like you said, Matt, is based on Disneyland's theme park ride, where a small riverboat takes a group of travelers through a jungle filled with dangerous animals and reptiles, but with a supernatural element.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go with the former Disney employee years ago, Maniacal Mags. You're first.
I'm first for what? Impressions
Your
of the
first
movie?
impressions of the movie. Yeah.
Oh man, you did this to me last week too.
The pressure.
No
do you
pressure.
you want your husband to go first?
No, it's okay. I'm going to step up to the plate because, badass women do that.
Yes, that's true.
Hey, speaking of badass women, Emily Blunt, she had more action in this than freaking The Rock did. How awesome was that?
Typical of a dude to just steal exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, she was great. I really enjoyed this movie. My impressions were, I'm, like I said last week, I'm not a film nerd. I'm not a massive critic. I watch things to be entertained, and I was thoroughly entertained. I loved the banter between Emily Blunt and Mr. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I thought that they played off of each other really, really well. I thought that the story was really good, considering they based it off of a ride that's existed forever, and it's kind of an iconic ride for Disney, and so many people love it. So they kind of had big shoes to fill in terms of making sure that they're being authentic to the ride itself, and also creating a Disney style entertainment. And I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Well, good. Mike, did you enjoy it?
So Matt, yeah, I kind of like this. I kind of sum this up as a kind of a national treasure, Indiana Jones kind of movie, Pirates of the Caribbean kind of feel to it. So it's kind of fun, kind of an adventure. We don't get as many of these as we probably should, and I thought this was just fun. It's a popcorn movie. I love the homage to the ride with some of the very dad-like jokes filling it. So that was fun. I don't know. I I pretty much liked it just like my wife Megs.
So what you're saying, it was a very punny movie.
Oh, this again, like I was really happy watching this movie because the ride itself, for those folks who have never been on the ride, it is filled with terrible punny jokes brought to you by your captain who is piloting your boat as you go on your jungle cruise. And a lot of those jokes made it into the movie. And I thought that it was wonderful because I love terrible punny dad jokes. I loved it.
But I thought we addressed it last week. They're mom jokes on the podcast.
Well, yeah, they are. I mean, when they come from me, they're mom jokes, but everybody knows them as dad jokes. So.
Yeah, all right.
That's true. Maggie's definitely better at those jokes in our relationship. I only have one every once in a while. Maggie just cranks them out.
But I feel like I'm not going to come up with anything because the movie used them all. I'm not going to have any, unless I don't know, maybe we'll have a witty moment here on the pod. We'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Another bit of trivia I was reading about was that the pilot of said ships during the ride is called the Skipper, and that is why The Rock went by Skippy or Skipper in the film. Another homage to the ride.
Yes, indeed.
So lots of call outs to the ride if you are a Disneyland fan. I don't know if they still do this. I haven't been on the Jungle Cruise in a very long time. So I don't know how much of it has relayed from our childhood. But from my experience on the film, it pretty much was the ride, at least that first segment where you experience The Rock and he's taking his first cruise out and up and down the river. It was pretty much almost identical to going on the ride.
I think from my memory, if it serves okay, it was very, very similar. And it was fun how they integrated in some of the more adventurous scenes, trying to make it seem more realistic, but also plays into the movie's storyline.
And they even had the hippo, which is not native to the Amazon. And luckily in the movie, the skipper did not pull out a gun and shoot the hippo.
That is true. No, there was no hippo shootings. But you are correct. Coming from the animal expert of the three of us here, hippos are not native. However, there are certain areas where hippos have been introduced in the rivers over there, and it kind of messed with the ecosystem. And there's been all kinds of. It started a long time ago, and now they've bred, and there's like 300 hippos that live there. It's pretty crazy.
So it's a nuisance creature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie, talking about animals in this movie, what did you think of the wildlife sounds used throughout the movie?
Oh my. So, they used generic animal sounds for a lot of the animals. So, the monkeys that they had in there, they all sounded like chimpanzees. Now, why they all sound like chimpanzees is beyond me. I have absolutely no idea. The macaws, I don't even know what kind of bird, kind of parrot sounding. Didn't sound like a real macaw to me. I have worked with macaws and didn't sound like them. There were several times where there were animal sounds that for those who are animal savvy, which is probably a very, very small segment of the population, if you're listening to it and you're like, and you hear these sounds like, oh no, that one's not right. Nope, that one's not right.
Yeah, what of the movie animals, did you see any that didn't really belong besides, of course, the hippo that Matt pointed out, which, yeah, I don't want to give it away.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Are we at spoilers? I don't want to.
Nowhere near spoilers yet, Mike.
All
How
right.
dare you?
So I don't want to say stuff yet.
Okay, all right. Well, hold that thought.
Yes.
The one I had going was, so basically the green screen animals, they did not have the right sounds for the fake animals.
That is accurate. I mean, some of them might have been correct, but there were a lot that were not correct.
Well, and that's one of the things, like, I wasn't a super huge fan of, but they did a really good job is how much of this movie was green screen. It is a lot, a whole
Yeah.
lot.
Yep. And I really enjoyed, I mean, again, coming from the animal person point of view, the realism in the animals that they were able to CGI, I thought that was great. I mean, CGIing the entire Amazon rainforest, that it was really good.
Yeah, no, they did a great job. I just hate how much of it is there. It's me hearkening back to wanting more practical effects of the filming days of old, I guess. But if they got the budget, which Disney definitely has, and they have the time, I mean, this movie was supposed to come out in 2019. It got pushed to 2020, then COVID, and they brought it out in 2021. But it's doing gangbusters. You know, it's doing great on Disney Plus. It's doing great in the theaters. People are loving it.
Matt, speaking about Disney Plus, so how did you watch this movie?
I went to the theaters on a Friday night.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Mags and I, we ended up using the Disney Plus online streaming because, you know, as we have a young child and it's difficult for us to get out.
And
so we didn't want to ruin people's experience at the movie theater by bringing our child.
And you're a financial baller.
I don't, that has neither here nor there. Anyway.
We would have spent the same amount on 2 tickets to go to the movie theater as we did buying them.
That's true.
Buying the Disney Plus. So
That's true.
It was fine.
Yeah, and you could have invited over like a lot more people.
True.
We could have. But so we ended up doing that, and apparently quite a few people also did that. But Matt, did you see, I'm sure you did, the big news with Scarlett Johansson, your future ex-wife, and Disney, like the lawsuit?
Yeah, I'm okay with it because, in the future I'll get a taste. So...
Is that going to be part of your prenup? I want half of the Disney Plus money.
Yeah, at least half. At this point, I'll take a quarter. Quarter would be more than anything I've ever made in my life. So I'm cool with that too.
Nice, Matt. Nice. Okay. Well, I thought I'd bring that up for a little bit. I didn't want to dwell on it too much. Just mention, what's kind of going on. And it's really interesting times for streaming and theater showing of movies, and then with the Delta virus stuff kicking back up. I mean, I don't know, man. Doesn't look good.
It's not looking good at all. I'm afraid of future endeavors as far as my other job with the football team and movies, and I don't know. Things are starting to... There's a lot of talk here. Again, Arizona is much like Texas and other states across the country where they're fighting back against mask mandates and all that other stuff. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but things are not looking good. That's for sure.
We will see. Time will tell.
Yep. Only time will tell. So, one thing I was going to say about the ScarJo money, if I can leave the lights on, she can keep all the money though. How's that?
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
Ms. Johansson, if you ever deign to listen to this, I will apologize on behalf of my friendish Maddie Cakes over there. Please don't hate us.
She won't hate. She won't hate. She just will ignore, like she has been forever. And that's fine. I'm okay with that too.
Wow. Okay. Well, moving on, Matt. I think it's time for me to find out what you are drinking to this fine evening, Matt.
Good. You got it out. It took a minute. Mike, I am drinking one of my favorites. I stocked up. It is Cheap Beer Week. The champagne of beers. Miller High Life.
Oh, good one. I used to play on a softball team. We were sponsored by Miller, and we were the Miller High Lifers. We got the champagne of beers in the parking lot before every game. It was awesome.
My saying, if it's good enough for people in the movies, it's good enough for me.
Good.
It's the beer that's like in every single movie. Like if you pay attention, and whenever you see someone drinking a beer, they're drinking a High Life. It's crazy. Okay, Mike, go ahead. What IPA are you drinking?
All right, Matt. So you're right. It's another IPA. I'm drinking Sierra Nevada, Big Little Thing IPA.
Mags, what are your thoughts on Big Little Thing IPA?
Well, I have to say, I pee a lot because I drink a lot of water. Oh, snap. You're welcome.
Love it. Love it, Skipper.
Wow.
I just came up with that. I'm very proud of myself. I got one in, you guys. I got in my terrible punny joke. With a movie that had terrible punny jokes.
Well, honey, that was great. I was trying to think of one and I got nothing. So once again, you win.
Thanks.
Doesn't she always win, though, Mike?
Yes.
It took him a while to get up to the microphone and say that, if anybody was wondering. That's what would that... He had to think before he answered, like a smart man. So, all right, Mike, most important question. How does Jungle Cruise relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, Matt, thanks for asking. So for this movie, Veronica Falcone was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I know that's not quite a movie, Matt, but it's in the MCU, and we've done a little bit of that before. So,
What did she play? What character was that?
Mama,
what?
Mama, something. Just a sec.
Oh, it's fine. But yeah, it's part of the MCU, so.
Mama Danya.
Mama Danya, that's it.
Yeah, no, the shows on Disney Plus are part of the MCU. The one that's kind of a gray area, as far as I'm concerned, is S.H.I.E.L.D. Disney has denied that it's part of the MCU, but yet people say it is, people say it isn't. Just like Agent Carter, they say it is, but it isn't. That's more the gray area. The stuff that's on Disney, that's definitely MCU, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. And she played the Trader Sam, correct?
Yep.
So it was the leader of the tribe, and I don't know. I would butcher trying to say whatever that tribe was called, so we'll just call him the tribe. She was the leader. It was good.
All right, so we will go ahead and enter our spoiler section. For those of you who want to avoid it, go ahead and turn off now. Who would like to start the spoiler section? I know you were itching there, Megs. So, Mike, go ahead. Spoil away, sir.
I don't think I have too much to spoil, Matt, but I did want to ask you, what did you think about them using a submarine or like a U-boat in this movie in the Amazon?
Best part of the movie. Easily. I mean, come on. How ridiculous was it? Jesse Plemons, rolling up in the Amazon in a submarine, a World War I submarine. I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. It was one of my favorite parts. It was hilarious. There's no realism whatsoever. And that's one of those things that I really like about this movie. I talked about it on the radio this morning. This is like Disney getting back to form. Like, these are the movies that we want from Disney. The high adventure, the fun, the nonsensical action. Yes, it's all over the top. Yes, it's all spectacular, but that's what makes a lot of the Disney movies fun. Like the beginning of this film, you see Emily Blunt on the top of a ladder moving around doing an action scene on top of a ladder. It's not possible. It would never happen, but that was fun. That was a blast. I love it. I miss stuff like that.
Matt, being a Disney movie, what did you think of Jesse Plemons' character cursing? He said Scheisse.
I don't know how they're going to get away with it because it was in another language, I guess. But, well, here's the real question that everybody's asking. Mike, what do you think about having a homosexual character in a Disney movie?
I thought we had lots of that before. I don't see what any kind of controversy is.
This is one that they considered it a starring role and blatantly out there from the start.
I don't know. I thought it was fine. It didn't detract from the movie or anything. It was just a character. I don't know. Mags, what do
Personally,
you think?
I don't care, but it's just Disney. That's all.
I mean, I think it was good because, you know, the three of us have grown up to, you know, in a culture we've been taught to be more accepting and stuff. So for us, it's kind of like, yeah, well, whatever. It was fine. It was fine. But for a lot of people who are going to be watching this movie, they might have grown up in a time or in a culture where it's totally not fine. And so to put a homosexual character in a starring role as opposed to just a side role or it's sort of vaguely mentioned, but just not given any real screen time. I thought it was good. And I mean, Disney is all about diversity. They're all about trying to make it inclusive. And so writing that into this particular script, I thought it was a great choice. And, it just keeps that narrative without being completely in your face, without just him coming out and saying, I'm gay, and then having to explain to your 3-year-old what that means. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But they told the story without really blatantly telling the story. And I think that that's good. I think that brings it a little bit more into the mainstream without making it awkward.
Yeah, they didn't go over the top, like, for instance, having the main character fall in love with The Rock. They just kept it as kind of a side thing, where a lot of films where they do stuff like that, they sneak that in and they make the main character, you think the love interest is going to be the guy and the girl, and then it turns out to be the two, same-sex couples, whatever it is. And I'm glad Disney didn't do something like that and really try and put it out there and be like, accept it in your face kind of thing. I think this was a good way to go about it as well. I agree.
Matt, I was also thinking about it from a different perspective. This is the, 1917, 1918, right?
It's right around, I think it was 16, 17, 18. It's it's right around World War I. I don't remember the exact year from watching the film, but
yeah. So this is 100 years ago, which is nuts to think about. And also at that time in England, man, that was not something you could do.
Not publicly.
Yeah.
No. You could be arrested and the government had every right to do terrible things to you to try and rectify the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the great minds of England helped with World War II. Alan Turing also was a gay man and ended up being castrated and
tortured.
Yeah, he helped decipher the Enigma, the Enigma cipher from the Germans.
Right, yeah, the Enigma machines.
Which is just like a travesty for their whole country. I mean, he saved thousands of people.
No, probably millions, actually.
And then they end up publicly shaming him. It was terrible.
So, okay, I will change up topics a little bit. One thing I wasn't a super huge fan of this film about was the story, I guess you would say. It was very, very convoluted and extremely fantastical, which I was okay with for the most part. I predicted the part about The Rock being one of the Spanish, one of the conquistadors. I predicted that pretty easy. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I think it was a little bit over the top having the villains be the creatures from the Amazon. That was a little bit too much Pirates of the Caribbean for me.
I concur. I literally said when they were coming out of the vines of the forest and, all muddy and, one's made of bees and one's made of mud and I was like, oh, this is very Pirates of the Caribbean. It's very reminiscent. So that was kind of they stole a little bit.
Yeah, I would have liked more creativity. Granted, it's their product too, but still, give us something a little more. The life-giving tree and having to drain the Amazon to get into it and all that stuff, I thought was cool. That was fun. The idea of The Rock's character building the town that they're all in and how he'd been there forever, and the reason why his boat is rickety and falling apart is because his boat's probably 100 plus years old. I liked all that stuff. I thought that was genius. I thought that was really well done. I don't know. There's just things I didn't like, but there are things I did. I think it could have been better, but it definitely could have been a hell of a lot worse.
What did you guys think about the use of Paul Giamatti's character? Too little? Enough? I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
They didn't use the actor enough. The character was very much a side character, even though he's a name brand actor, a big name actor, I guess, not name brand. He was kind of a wash because, he's the competition. And then you don't really hear much about him again until the end. And it's just, there could have been more.
Yeah, it was kind of a waste. Just a name on the poster, I guess. It's a little disappointing to see him not utilized because he is a very talented actor, and it would have been nice to see just a little bit more. But the thing with The Rock being, old, like, several hundred years old and stuff, I didn't actually see that coming. And that was a little bit like, I mean, that's real fantastical, but I mean, the plants coming to life and all kinds of different things. It was quite a, we've got to hit the I believe button quite a bit on this movie, but it was still fun. So, but that's what's great about this is they're pushing that and we're accepting of it because it's a Disney movie. This is what we want to see from Disney. Yeah. The National Treasure movies that came out, I love those. Those were fantastic. I feel like they flew under the radar a little bit, but became more popular after they were out of the theaters. But those were fun, it's a Nick Cage movie, but they were great. Like, I don't know, some people really don't like Nick Cage, but I think he's pretty fun a lot of times. He has a very diverse catalog, especially these days. But anyway, it's okay.
Yeah, talk about suspension of disbelief, man. Those National Treasure movies. Yeah, you gotta hit the, what did you call it? The button?
The I believe button.
I believe button. Definitely.
I just watched a Nick Cage movie on Hulu, the one with the animatronic creatures. I don't know. Did you see it? It's a horror movie.
Oh, I think I saw a trailer for it. What was it called, man?
It's like Willy's Wonderland or Wally's Wonderland or something like that.
Okay. Was it any good?
It was atrocious. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Great. Let's stop talking about it.
The funniest thing, though, Nick Cage doesn't say one word for the entire hour and 45-minute long movie. Not one word.
So he didn't get paid then, right? Because don't you have to speak to get like the Actors Guild, I don't know, stuff?
I think he just got paid a lot less.
Well, I guess he's still paying for the castle and the comic books and some other failed investments.
I just thought you would have saw it because it's a horror movie, Mike. I'm kind of disappointed.
I'm going to be honest, Matt. I don't have a lot of time to do too much.
That's true. That's true. You have dishes and diapers and then making the monies.
Yep. I keep him chained. So I'm going to change the subject, guys, because we're going completely different horror movie here. So I'm bringing it back. Rogue. You guys are terrible. Rogue. Okay. So I want to talk about having Emily Blunt, the female lead character, doing action scenes and shedding some light on how things were for women, over 100 years ago, for the scientific community and for just women's rights in general, and how things have changed starkly. And, one thing in particular was she's wearing pants, and that really throws off The Rock.
Yeah. Hey, pants.
It threw off everybody. That was her nickname, was Pants. That was pretty wild. Yeah. And now you pretty much only see everybody wearing pants. You don't see skirts or dresses very often anymore, unless it's a formal event.
True. You know, that's what comes with choice. Pants are they're much more comfortable, in my opinion. Yeah, and functional. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It also pointed out, you know, like her brother ends up being the one who has to deliver these lectures to this, I don't know, men's club. I don't even know what it was, like scientific club,
some scientific community.
It was a historical scientific society of archaeological something. Who knows? It was a bunch of things, but yes.
Yeah, and she wasn't even allowed to speak on her own behalf, which was pretty disheartening.
Mm-hmm. I also thought it was, I mean, this is how things were, but I liked how they showed it in the movie. How the women weren't even allowed to be on the same floor, like on the main floor with the men listening to the lecture. They all had to be up top, you know, where they can't participate at all.
Can't see them.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that was a very good portrayal of just how stark things were 100 years ago. And I'm very, very, very grateful that things have changed for the better for women to be able to participate, not just participate, but lead the scientific community.
That's actually when you get your first introduction of Jesse Plemons was him telling her, "What are you doing down here? You should be upstairs."
Yes. He said, "The secretaries are that way." "Oh, thank you, sir." And back then you just had to demur. And I mean, these days you could give him the what for, but.
So, all right. Well, I believe that brings us to Mag's favorite section, the ratings.
The ratings. All right. Well, again, I'm going in strong. I enjoyed this movie. I thought that they did a really good job with the acting, the special effects, other than the sounds, obviously, of the animals. That's a little annoying for me. But I gave this one 4 out of 5 reels. I enjoyed it.
Wow, big time over there. Big time.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm nicer than you guys. I think I'll probably do that a lot.
That's fine. Nothing wrong with being nice. I thought I was the nice one until recently, and I believe Mike and his fatherhood has changed him to being a nicer person when it comes to movie ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's true.
So, Papa to be, how many reels do you give Disney's Jungle Cruise, the movie?
So I'm going to give this one 3.5 reels. And it's all because this is like the second time I've seen the backside of water.
The second time. Well, Mike, you'll always be the backside of the water for the Real Film Nerds. So
Excellent, Matt. Excellent.
I don't even know what that means. It's just something funny to say.
How about you, Matty Cakes? What are you giving it?
I give it the exact same as Mr. Talent over there. I give it 3.5 out of 5 reels. It was fun. I think it could have been better, but it definitely could have been a heck of a lot worse. But I did enjoy myself. It was well worth seeing in the theater. It's nice having all that action, all that going on, the craziness. I enjoyed it.
Oh, so Matt, when I picked this movie, you were a little bit apprehensive. It turned out being okay?
Yeah, it was going to go one way or the other. It was going to be absolute trash or it was going to be entertaining. There was no middle for this one. Luckily, it was entertaining.
Well, that's very good. You know, it's good to see that. I figured with Emily Blunt, The Rock, some kind of story from Disney would be okay. So, and it was.
Well, all right. So for next week, you get a choice, much like this past week, if you want to sit on your couch and watch this next one or go to the theaters. We are going to review The Suicide Squad by James Gunn, the movie he did after he got kicked out of the MCU and then came back.
Yeah, well, he's rehired again, but he had to finish this movie first.
Right. And so far, all the people that have gotten early screeners are saying this is a really good movie. So I'm excited to watch this one.
Yeah, me too, Matt. I think this will be fun. And this is going to be available on HBO Max, right?
Yep. HBO Max, I believe they're dropping it on the 5th. So I'm not sure if they're doing that a little early because that's only a few days away. I think but we'll see. I think it's Thursday or Friday. I don't remember. Something like that. No, 6. That's Thursday. Yep. Drops on the 5th on HBO Max and in the theaters. So are you guys going to go to the theaters? Or you're going to watch on HBO Max?
We're probably going to watch it on HBO Max, Matt, but you never know. I don't know. Depends on what the time's looking like, but lately time is fleeting.
I had a hard time getting into the theaters to see this one. I had to go on a Friday. I really prefer not to go on Friday night prime time. The theater was packed when I went and saw it. It was fun. It's not the kind of movie I would go and see, packed like that, but it was fine. Suicide Squad, just because of work constraints, I will definitely probably be watching it on HBO Max, and hopefully before Sunday.
Definitely, probably, huh?
Definitely, probably, maybe, mostly, for sure.
I think I have the MCU tie-in already too. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I do.
All right. Awesome.
I saw a preview for a movie, and if it was for the Suicide Squad, then yes, I do. We'll see. I'll let you know.
So what you're saying is it's going to have to become Mag's Marvel Cinematic Universe segment.
No, because, again, I know the big characters of MCU, but if there's not a big character in whatever movie it is that we're watching, I'm forget it. Nope.
You've gotten Mike, though, a couple times.
A couple, yeah. But you guys, what episode is this? 233? 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 3 times? 2 times? I don't know. Let's not go out on a limb and say I'm doing that great.
Well, we didn't start doing the MCU tie-ins until the 4th episode?
I believe the very first tie-in we did was a Jesse Plemons movie. It was Game Night. Game Night, I think, was the very first MCU tie-in, and I was like, let's just do it every single episode. And it's been like that ever since. I don't know if it was episode 4, but it's an early one. It's definitely single digits.
It was very early. I remember you guys starting to do that. I thought it was fun.
A lot of people like it. Yeah, we get a lot of compliments on that. It is fun. It's not so fun for Mike, but the movies that Mike has the hardest time with are always the ones he picks. It's never the ones I pick.
It's 100% true, man. I really do it to myself.
So, all right. Well, I think that is enough for us this week until next week's shenanigans with the Suicide Squad. Mags. I added an S to Mike's. It's fine. Mike and Mags. It was wonderful. A pleasure as always. Can't wait for next week. Mike, do your thing unless Mags has anything else to add.
If you are enjoying having me on the podcast, please send an email to, what is it, Matt?
Mags at realfilmnerds.com.
Is it Mags or Maggie?
Mags.
Mags at realfilmnerds.com.
Do you want me to change it to Maggie? Is that better for you?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
It's fine. So, yeah, I'm excited. You guys, I have an email address for the Real Film Nerds? What?
Yep. And
that's pretty cool.
I'll have to look up your password.
Nice. Well, I think with that, thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll catch you on the next pod. Make sure to follow us on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And go out there and see a movie if you feel comfortable, or, stream one of these movies like the Disney Plus movies or any other movies that are available via streaming, which seems to be almost all of them these days. So thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you on the next pod.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Am I loud enough, or do I need to be louder?
You look great. This is radio.
Well, I didn't ask how I looked.
Matter.
I mean, it's radio. It doesn't matter how I look.
Doesn't matter how you look.
That's why I'm on here.
Only matters how you sound. Good morning, Matt Hinshaw on Magic 99.1. Yes, we are rolling, buddy.
Oh, great.
Yes. How you doing?
I'm alive. I'm awake.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
Pretty tired.
You just need to get up a little earlier. You know, I've been up since 4 and I feel amazing.
I went to bed like when you were like getting up. So
Yeah.
I don't
What
know
time
if
did you
that
go to
would-
bed? I want to know.
Last night 2.
2 a.m.
I
What
had
are you
to finish.
doing?
I had to finish photos.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I was asleep by 10.
You know that other team that I shoot for,
Oh,
not
right.
the local ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shoots
was
for the
finishing
Rattlers.
up. I was finishing up their photos, and
Okay.
they're demanding. They're like a
they're
lot
demanding.
of photos.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
A
all right.
lot.
Enough about you. Let's talk about the movie. You
Oh, okay,
saw,
okay, fine.
Jungle Cruise. He
Not
very
Jungle Book.
quickly, yeah, you very quickly correct me. Jungle Cruise from Disney. What'd you think?
I thought it was okay.
Oh no,
It was,
just okay.
No, it was a lot better than I anticipated.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be terrible.
Yes.
I was expecting
Now,
a dumpster fire.
Why did you think so? I mean, The Rock's in it. How bad could it be?
Because they're trying to make another movie out of a ride. They have no story. They have no premise. They have nothing.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt is fantastic.
Well, of
so I
course.
knew she was going to do fine. I knew The Rock was going to do fine.
Was he
but
fantastic too? I
he
mean,
was-
give
they-
him a word.
The chemistry between them was even better.
Oh, good.
He did well. It's the story gets a little convoluted. It's very fantastical is a nice word I kept using out
Yes.
front when I was talking to Denise.
Very good. I like
But-
fantastical.
I don't want to compare it to Pirates, the original Pirates, not the gajillion sequels that I refuse to
Pirates
watch.
of the Caribbean.
Yes, the
Yeah.
original film.
Okay.
It's very much getting back to that. It's getting back to how Disney should have done movies and kept doing movies. It's fun. It doesn't make sense at times. It's action sequences where, just for instance, in this one, Emily Blunt spends 5 minutes standing on top of a ladder, moving the ladder around. It would never happen. But you know what? It's fun.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Right.
That's the stuff you expect to see from Disney.
From
This over the
Disney.
top.
Yes.
Just fun.
Magical.
Enjoying. Yes.
Yes.
Magical's a word. Sure.
Okay. Very good.
But that's so it's nice they're going back to that instead of trying to be serious and trying to, have fun. That's what people look to Disney for. They look to that in the cartoons, the rides, the TV shows, everything. It's nice to see them going back to that.
Absolutely. You are spot on. Looks like you're right in line with all of the critics. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 63, Metacritic 49, IMDb 6.7. So, like you said, it's not something you gotta see, but if you do see it, you'll probably enjoy it.
It's well worth it,
Yeah.
especially for the family.
Yeah.
The kids are going to enjoy it.
Okay.
Parents are going to enjoy it. There's
Right.
not as much adult humor peppered in, like, say, a
Oh.
Pixar movie or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
But it's still decently in there. You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
One of my complaints, I think, is too long.
It's too long. How
I
long
think
is
it's
it?
too long. It's like 2 hours and 10 or 12 minutes or something. I mean, I
that
don't know.
kind of movie needs to be like 145,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know why the standard is like 2 hours now. It's
Yeah.
getting kind of ridiculous. Hour and a half, hour 45 would have been perfect on this.
Okay, very good.
There were some great action sequences. There's some that could have been cut.
Okay.
They could have trimmed a little bit of the fat, but
Okay, I'm hearing you.
I
I'm thinking.
go for it.
Well, I was
No.
just gonna jump right in and guess how many reels you were gonna give it.
Yes, please.
I was gonna guess 3 out of 5.
Close.
How many?
3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you liked it a little bit more than you're letting
Gave
on.
a little bit more of a bump
Because
more
of The
a bump.
Rock.
Yeah, well, Emily Blunt mostly.
Was he shirtless in the movie? Everybody wants to know.
No, actually, not
He
really.
wasn't?
Not really. No.
Okay.
No.
So yeah, 3.5. Okay.
And fun thing, he has a decent amount of action.
Yeah.
But Emily Blunt has more action scenes than him. And
Interesting.
And it's nice to hear her in her natural accent too.
Yes, because
She's
she
very
always has
British.
to change it.
Yes.
Tell me now, you have probably seen the reviews of Stillwater, and the results at the box office came in 5th place. This is Matt Damon's new big blockbuster.
It's kind of depressing.
I'm so sad. What happened there? Do you know? You haven't seen
I have
it.
no clue. I have no clue. I want to go see it.
Yeah, I want to see it too. It's only in theaters.
Yeah, I
See?
might have to wait
Me too.
because it's not in line for next week.
Right.
Next week is another big blockbuster
Yeah.
that we have to see.
Oh gosh, what?
It's coming out on HBO Max.
Is it a Marvel movie?
And in the theaters.
Superhero
No.
movie, action-packed, violent movie.
It's a villain action-packed movie. It's the new Suicide Squad by James Gunn,
Okay.
who famously has done the Guardian movies, and
Right.
this is the movie that he did when Marvel fired him, I guess,
Yeah,
for a year.
yeah, okay.
So we'll see how it goes.
Every Marvel nerd is excited to see that movie.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a DC movie, but
Yeah.
it's interesting
all the
to
same
see
to me.
what James Gunn does.
It's
yeah.
all the same to me.
Well, it has a shark. It has like a shark, like as
Oh.
like a walking around shark villain.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
No,
come on,
I'll
that's
pass.
awesome.
I'll pass. Catch the podcast. Do not pass on that. It's called The Real Film Nerds. Matt and his co-host are the stars. And thank you for visiting with me every Monday morning on what station, Matt?
You
have one thing to
The amazing, magnificent
Ooh.
Magic 99.1.
Very good.